Simply Divina. She's a nice lady. But we're gonna have to take her down.
Well, at least she called me a nice lady. I played Alex during the last round of Title Tuesday, and I thought our game is very interesting to analyze. In many critical moments in the middle game, there was only one move for both our sides that would save the position, and that got us both out of a lot of trouble. Hope you enjoy this analysis and try to follow along and pause the video during certain moments to find what the best continuation would have been for us to save our positions during critical moments. So we enter out of a Queen's Gambit declined exchange variation, which is known to be just very equal and very solid. And here you can see as black, I'm just trying to slowly maneuver some pieces to the king side and try to poke around. We play some moves, and the first stopping point is after the move knight to g3. So here I saw this move ahead of time, and I did not want to give up my bishop for the knights because I kind of like my bishop here, and when I have an attack going on the king's side, every piece matters because even if this bishop is not attacking anything right now, it has the potential to cause problems in the future, and especially when you're trying to be on the attacking side, any piece that you trade off is only just minimizing your attack. However, if I didn't want to trade the bishop, what am I supposed to do? Because I can't move the bishop because she has two pieces on this pawn on e4, so I don't have the ability to just go back. So here is the first tactic of the position. Again, pause the video whenever you like to try to find the moves. I really want to play rook takes g3 because I see that there's a pin on this pawn on h2. However, if I take the rook now on g3, the f pawn is just going to take me back and I'm just going to lose material. So I need to find a way to distract the f pawn so that I'm able to play rook takes g3. So I played the move knight takes e3. I win a pawn here, and if she decides to take my knight back, I give up a knight for a knight, and now I'm up a pawn, and this pawn is weak. She has a backwards pawn on e3. However, she kind of has to take, because if not, I'm attacking the queen. I have the potential to play the move knight to g4 and annoy this pawn on h2, so the best thing for her is just to lose the pawn for now and just get rid of my knight that's going to be potentially annoying. And now here she plays the move queen to f2. Now here in the game I had a mini panic attack because the minute she played this I thought I was losing, because when she plays the move queen to f2, she's hitting my bishop on f5, but she's also hitting the rook on g3. And the problem is I can't just move back and defend my bishop because there's a pin with my queen. So here, I only have one move to save my position and not lose material. And that move is rook to h3. I was so happy when I found this move. It is quite a save because now if she takes my bishop, she's getting mated, which means she has to trade queens. If not, she's going to lose the pawn on h2. She can play a move like g3 if she really doesn't want to trade, but then I'm just going to play the move queen to h5, just like what happened in the game, by the way. And now here I keep my bishop, which I'm happy about, because now that she's played g3, what becomes weak? That's really important whenever you're on the attack, but also just in general. Whenever your opponent makes a move, try to figure out if they've created any weaknesses in their position that you can try to capitalize on. So here, my bishop is trying to get in to f3 because there's a very weak diagonal here. So the game continues, and she plays knight to d2. Now again, Title Tuesday is a blitz tournament. The time control is 3+1, so be aware of the time situation. I did not have much time. I felt like I had something here, but I didn't really have time to calculate and I couldn't figure it out. So I kind of went with whatever the first good move that came to my mind was. So I played the move bishop to g4. Again, the minute she played g3, I knew I wanted my bishop on f3. So that was really all my goal was. I don't have to worry about her taking my pawn because again, bishop f3, and I have this nice fork. However, I did miss a very interesting follow-up here that is not that easy to find, but I think it's a beautiful continuation. My best chance to increase my advantage here is to play the move rook takes d4. Sacrificing an entire rook? Well, if she takes my rook, the pressure on this h2 pawn is very important to note. The queen can never really move off the second row currently because she's going to get mated. So by sacrificing my rook and she taking back with the e-pawn, what does this open up for me? My own e-pawn. So if I play the move e3, I'm forking the queen and the knight. She's not able to take back because she gets mated. So she has to move the queen to g2. That's the only safe square on the second row that she's able to move to. After queen to g2, I get the knight back. And here I already have compensation because I'm only down in exchange. However, we talked about if I can drive this queen away from the second row, I have a checkmate threat. So let's say we're trying to figure out what our threat in the position is. If it was black to move, we are threatening bishop to e4, pinning the queen, and the queen is not able to take back because she's going to get checkmated, and there's no way to stop this pin, so we just win a queen. So the only way for her to be able to defend this threat is to make sure that if I win this pawn on h2, to make sure that the king is not stuck in the corner. So she needs to get some lift for her king, which means the rook needs to get out of the way. The only two safe squares for this rook on this side of the board is f1 and d1 to stop the pawn. If she plays rook to f1, I can't really play bishop to e4 because after queen takes, rook takes, and king g1, I don't really have a checkmate there. So therefore, I'm going to try to maneuver around with my bishop to try to annoy the pieces on the light squares because I have all this potential. Now the move here is bishop to g4. Again, utilizing the fact that every diagonal is open in the favor of my light square bishop. Supporting this pawn push to promote my pawn, and making it so this rook cannot move out of the f-file because then bishop f3 is a very nice threat. If she takes this pawn on d2, I have the beautiful move rook takes g3. These tactics are not easy to find, but this is just such a beautiful continuation. Some of these moves are harder to find than others once you've sacrificed the rook, but it just comes together to make a beautiful combination. And here I'm threatening bishop to f3 check, and if rook takes, queen takes f3, about to checkmate the king. And it's crazy because there's literally no way for her to stop bishop to f3 because the queen cannot move to any square that would cover f3 additionally. It's unstoppable. And the same thing would happen if she decided to go to d1 instead of f1. I'm still going to play bishop to g4, threatening the rook, threatening bishop to f3, and it's the same story. So that was my best chance in the game to actually create a winning continuation. And if I were to have played rook takes d4, her best shot is to not take back the rook. But the problem is she's just down 2 pawns and still in a losing endgame, but it's not as losing as the previous line that we saw. That was pretty complicated to see though. I didn't see that. So again, I had played bishop to g4. I immediately played bishop to f3. I thought after knight takes f3, pawn takes, I could leave her kind of in a zigzag, but I missed the move g4, which attacks my queen, kicks it out of the h-file, and allows her rook to go to g3. Now forcing a trade-off, or she wins this pawn. Now at this point, I've come to terms with the fact that any potential attack that I had to turn into an advantage is now gone, and now I just need to make sure that I go into an endgame that I'm comfortable playing, given that I have 48 seconds left on the clock. So I knew that I had to trade rooks here. She's threatening to take my pawn on f3, and I'm not able to save my pawn or defend it, so therefore the best option for me is to try to find a way to counterattack one of her pawns. Pause the video and try to figure out what move you'd play here. I decided to play rook to e8, with the idea that after queen takes f3, I have to move rook takes e3, and the queen cannot take me back because of the pin, so I get to remain up a pawn here, and I force a queen trade. Now, she had to play this a little bit careful. Even though I'm up a pawn, because it's a rook endgame, there's still very, very high drawing chances. After rook f5, I can't defend this pawn, so we trade off pawns. And we continued playing this endgame out for a little bit. So fast forwarding to the endgame here, we ended up getting a draw. And we both ended up having a really good tournament that day, ending up with 5 out of 11 points in a very, very strong field. It was a pleasure to play Alex. We've played multiple times, and I really enjoy playing her. She's a really strong opponent and a really wonderful person. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis as well and found some of the moves. Let me know what you guys thought. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.